Good evening, students. Hope you all are fine and safe at your home. So, in chapter number 2, that is biological classification, we have completed the kingdom Monera, which include all the prokaryotic organisms, say for example bacteria. And in that kingdom Monera, we have discussed Archaebacteria, Eubacteria, as well as the organisms which are without cell wall. That is the mycoplasmas or PPLO, pseudo-pneumonia-like organisms. And we have also discussed about the reproduction, nourishment, that is the nutrition, mode of nutrition, reproduction, sexual as well as asexual mode of reproduction. Then we have also discussed the Gram staining procedure for differential staining procedure to detect which bacteria is Gram positive as well as Gram negative in the given unknown sample. And at the last, we have discussed about the economic importance of bacteria, that is the harmful activities as well as useful activities. Today, we are starting with kingdom Protista, that is the next kingdom in the Whittaker 5 kingdom classification. So, the topic for today's session is kingdom Protista. As you all know that kingdom Monera include all the prokaryotic organisms. Kingdom Protista, which is one step ahead, advanced, only one step advanced than kingdom Monera, that will include all the unicellular eukaryotic organisms. So, the term or this Protista, the protist term was proposed, first time was proposed by Ernst Haeckel in the year 1866. So, term Protista, or you can say the term protist, was first proposed by Ernst Haeckel, Haeckel, in the year 1866. They are unicellular as well as eukaryotic in nature. So they are unicellular and eukaryotic in nature. Unicellular means they are made up of single cell, and eukaryotic means they will be having the well-defined nucleus, that means well-defined nuclear membrane. Apart from well-defined nuclear membrane, they will be also having the membrane-bound organelles. If we talk about the habitat, that means a place where these kingdom Protista organisms or the kingdom Protista reside, they are mostly aquatic in nature. So habitat is mostly aquatic. Now, one important feature of this kingdom Protista is kingdom Protista is acting as a connecting link, a medium between kingdom Monera and the other three kingdoms. So this kingdom, that is Protista, is acting as a connecting link between this BW means between kingdom Monera, so that is Monera, and other three kingdoms, that is fungi, Plantae and Animalia. So if we have to draw the phylogenetic relationship, that is a phylogenetic tree, that at the bottom we know kingdom Monera will be there, and above the kingdom Monera there will be kingdom Protista. So this is the region of, let us say, the kingdom Monera, that includes the prokaryotic organisms, that is the bacteria, all the types of bacteria. Then above the kingdom Monera we have well advanced structures, that is what we call it as kingdom Protista. So Protista, and from this kingdom Protista we have three separate branches for the other three kingdoms. Like this is the phylogenetic tree. So this, let us say this for fungi, this is for Plantae, and this is for Animalia. So you can see that at the bottom, lowermost case, the kingdom Monera is residing, which includes all the prokaryotic organisms. Just above the Monera it is a Protista, and above the Protista, three branches are emerging out for three kingdoms, that is fungi, Plantae as well as Animalia. So this and and protista is acting as a media, as a barrier. So protista, kingdom protista act as a connecting link between kingdom Monera as well as fungi, Plantae or Animalia. Now talking about we are discussing the general features only, and then later on we will see with the help of examples. Now the next thing in this is reproduction. Reproduction, mostly it is asexual mode of reproduction by fission. So it is mostly asexual, and sexual mode of reproduction is not yet reported. Mostly asexual by fission. Which type of fission, that we will see with the help of examples. And sexual reproduction, that is a sexual mode, is not reported yet. So these are the few basic features of kingdom Protista. Now let us discuss about the mode of this nutrition or nourishment. So I am writing it here, nutrition. So basically, generally or basically, the nutrition or the mode of nutrition in kingdom Protista, that means organisms which belong to kingdom Protista, they show both the type of nourishment, that is, it shows autotrophic mode of nutrition as well as heterotrophic mode of nutrition. So they show autotrophic or you can say apotrophic as well as heterotrophic mode of nourishment or nutrition. Such organisms which shows both the type of nourishment or nutrition, that means mixed effect is seen. If the light is available, they will go with the autotrophic mode. If the light is not available, they will go with the heterotrophic mode. So it is a kind of mixed effect. Mixed nourishment process is seen. Such processes are termed as mixotrophic nourishment or mixotrophic nutrition. So nutrition is mixotrophic. Mixotrophic means it is mixed effect, that is autotrophic as well as heterotrophic in nature. The best example that we can write or quote here is Euglena. We will discuss in detail all these things. So best example is Euglena. Okay. Now few more features. So they are mostly aquatic and eukaryotic, unicellular, microscopic organisms. So they are microscopic organisms. All these points are not mentioned in NCERT. So of course, please do watch all these videos which I will be sending you. Don't do like this that you watch later on, but you have to watch it by today only. So they are microscopic, mostly aquatic. Let us elaborate. So occurs in water body. They occurs in water bodies as planktons. Now what are planktons? Planktons are organisms, they are freely floating organisms on the surface of water. So what are planktons? Planktons are, or you can say, freely floating organisms. Freely floating organisms on the surface of water. That is what we call it as plankton. They are surrounded by a plasma membrane because it is eukaryotic in nature, so it will be having one step ahead advanced features which Monera does not show. So they are surrounded by plasma membrane, and the organisms which belongs to kingdom Protista, they may be either parasitic or they are saprophytic also. So they are, some are parasitic or pathogenic. Some are parasitic and some are pathogenic in nature. Okay? So parasitic, that means they will be requiring a host. Say for example, Entamoeba you can take, and pathogenic also there are slime molds available, right? So this is what the general features is. Now they are surrounded by the plasma membrane, but additionally they will be having a supportive layer which may be made up of the shells, may be made up of the protein, which is called as a palisade layer. So let us see that layers also. So additional covering they have additional covering of palisade layer. First layer which is I am talking about, it is palisade. It can be shells, it can be cellulosic membrane, like it is there in the plant kingdom. So palisade, the first is palisade layer. Palisade layer means it is a slime layer which is rich in proteins. So what is palisade? It is slime layer rich in proteins, that is elastic sheet is present. Now the second is it can be shell, third it can be cellulosic layer which is present, and it is present mainly in slime mold. So present in spores of slime molds. Okay, so just recapitulate it once again and then we will proceed further. So the term this kingdom protista, the term protista or protist was first given by the Ernst Haeckel in 1866. All these points are very important. And the first and foremost important feature of this kingdom protista is they are unicellular, eukaryotic, asexually reproducing microscopic organisms which are primarily found in the aquatic habitat. So if you want to define, you can define the way I have done. So mostly aquatic, and it is acting as a connecting link between the kingdom Monera as well as the other three kingdoms, right? Reproduction mostly by asexual mode, that is by fission, and sexual mode of reproduction is not reported yet. Nutrition, mixotrophic mode, that means autotrophic as well as heterotrophic, and the best example is Urina. They occur in the water bodies as planktons. And what are planktons? Planktons are the organisms which are freely floating on the surface of water, and they are surrounded by plasma membrane. Most or some of them are parasitic and pathogenic also, like Entamoeba, Plasmodium, that is the malarial parasite which is pathogenic, or parasitic also you can say, anyone. And additionally, apart from this plasma membrane, for their protection as an extra advantage, nature has given them the three layers. The layers may be either palisade, which is rich in the protein, slimy layer. It can be shells, again a slimy layer, and it can be cellulosic layer, which is made up of cellulose. And one more example, it is present in the spores of slime molds. Now talking about the locomotory structures within the kingdom Protista. So 4 to 5 locomotory structures are exclusively present within the kingdom Protista. Now let us discuss the locomotory structures. It can be amoeboid locomotion, it can be pseudopodial, it can be ciliary, like that. It can be ciliated. So 4 to 5 locomotory structures are a part of kingdom Protista, which is acting as a locomotory structures. Okay. So first is pseudopodial. Topic name is modes of locomotion. Modes of locomotion, that is how they move, how they locomate in the water bodies. So 4 to 5 examples we have, and the processes also. So first is pseudopodial, that is using the pseudopodias they will move. Second is flagellar, that is using the flagella. Third is ciliary, or you can also say ciliated type of movement or locomotion using the cilias. Then the fourth is wriggling, W-R-I-G-G-L-I-N-G, and the fifth is mucilage propulsion. Fifth one is mucilage propulsion. M-U-C-I-L-A-G-E propulsion, P-R-O-P-U-L-S-I-O-N. Now, pseudopodia, flagella and cilia you have heard. Wriggling as well as mucilage propulsion is new for you. So now let us discuss each and every mode of locomotion in detail with the help of examples. Now, pseudopodial mode of locomotion. It is basically the movement of the cytoplasm using the pseudopodias. And what are pseudopodias? Pseudo means false, podia means legs, or you can say feet. And the best example which is shown by a particular organism, that is pseudopodial movement, you all know it is amoeba. ठीक है, amoeba which is absent this cytoplasmic streaming. So it is cytoplasmic streaming which was absent in the kingdom Monera, because this is an advanced group of organisms, right? Second is flagellar movement. Flagellar movement, that means using the flagella, and the most common example is Euglena. The most common example is Euglena, which have two different types of flagella, that is the transverse or longitudinal flagella. So Euglena has two types of flagellas for the movement, right? Third is cilium. We know the best example which shows the ciliary locomotion is paramecium. Okay, so the best example here is paramecium, which are the hair-like structures, and they move here and there, and they provide the ciliary or ciliated type of movement. Now, wriggling movement as well as mucilage propulsion is new for you. Wriggling movement. Have you seen the this caterpillar when you remove the outermost layer of the pea? That is हिंदी में अपन उसको मटर बोलते हैं. So in pea, when you scroll out the outermost layer of that pea, what you will find, in not all the time, in many cases, or in some of the other cases, we will find this organisms. The organisms like this, which do not have, actually it is a straight ant-like structure, and they move using their entire body like this. Such movement is called as wriggling movement, regular contraction and relaxation. So they will regularly contract, relax, or they will show movement like this. So in this type of seen in the pea, P is just an analogy I have written, but actually we cannot write it as P here because we are discussing the biological classification. Right? You can use Euglena as an example here also. Example includes Euglena, and wriggling movement is basically the repetitive contraction and relaxation of the body, right? Now the last one is mucilage propulsion. Mucilage propulsion means a kind of mucilage layer is present, and through that layer they will move, and the best example is diatoms, that is slimy layer. So the example includes diatoms, and mucilage propulsion is a slimy layer which is present. So this was all about the basic features or introductory part of the kingdom Protista, and in the next part we will discuss about the classification of kingdom Protista in